What's up, everybody? We have enormous, beautiful, green news to talk about today. Yes, there is a brute set. Yes, it is the best day of my life. Yes, everything is going really well. And like this is the best news ever. It's even better than the acquisition of Savage Feats by Legendary Studios I went through today on July 1st, 2025. Yes, it is bigger than that. Yes. They did wait to tell me about the Savage Lands set, the Heavy Hitters 2 set, if you would. They waited to tell me that there is a rock-wielding, badass, green Shrek-like hero coming out soon. And they waited until the day I signed a little contract that said I can't compete in competitive events anymore. Yes, I am not allowed to wield my PSA 10 rock in professional tournaments. Yes, I will never vindicate my pug, Rock, whom I named after this weapon. Yes, I will never spike you out of a tournament ever again on a green brute-like character. Yes, I am still upset about it. I can't believe it, dude. I know Brian Gottlieb is looking down from his golden throne, laughing at me. I bet you it was his idea to wait to tell me. I bet. Because whenever something wrong's going on in Flesh and Blood, you got to blame Brian Gottlieb, right? Yeah, so I have just a piece of cardboard. Anyways, guys, today's an incredible day. We have brand new brutes to play with. We have one of my favorite looking heroes I have ever seen in Flesh and Blood. We have a whole new set on the horizon. We've got Pro Tour Singapore coming your guys' direction. We've got more Savage Feats, more investment, more time, a larger team. We're going to be blowing your minds come Worlds this year. All right. It's going to be incredible. I am super pumped. And I've got a little secret spicy project that I'm working on right now. Go ahead and check out savagelands.com. I do own it. That I do. And this is something I've been wanting to work on for a long time, and I finally am going to do it. This is something that I wanted to do as soon as I saw the data coming out in Pro Tour London. I just wasn't exactly sure if I was going to be able to pull it off, but I got the green light, so I'm doing it. So you guys are going to see a brand new entire ecosystem coming your guys' way sometime soon. But let's dive into that juicy brute news, because it's freaking beautiful. All right. Wait, hold on. Let me show you Rock. So yeah, my little boy, Rock-a-2, big baby Rock. You're upset with Brian Gottlieb, right? That was a yes. You want me to be allowed to play at least during this one season, correct? Yeah? Okay. You think we should buff Rock? Yeah. All right. Well, let's dive into it. All right. Now, there's a lot going on in this video, so I'm going to talk about it. There's a lot of little lore things, a lot of little details that I think a lot of people are missing, especially because most people don't love Brute as much as I do. So let's dive into it.
Oh, it ain't looking good for the fans of our...
Hold your hammer, Judd, because that's a smile this crowd will never forget.
Right, so the art in this set
sits at the center.
The art in this set is so poppy. It's very bright. It's very different than what we've seen in a lot of Flesh and Blood. I think they know that the Savage Lands sets have to be a little bit more lighthearted. I mean, they've got to be a little bit more fun. Heavy Hitters definitely has a vibe to it, and I think they capture the vibe pretty good here.
Of the ring as we...
Watch out! Watch out! Watch out!
Well, folks, you may not like it, but this is exactly the type of...
Lore piece number 1. That is a Brute hanging out in the stands, you guys. Brute lore is about as consistent as DC power scaling. There's just none. There is no lore at all associated to Brutes. We have no idea what they are. I don't know if LSS truly knows what they are just yet. They go from raging monsters in the middle of the Savage Lands to Aztec jungle warriors to guys who drink beers at the bar with the homies. While some of them are trapped in the arena downstairs that don't seem to be able to speak.
If anything goes,
So
you
yeah,
can expect
yeah,
to find here in the
we're
arena.
starting to see some new lore for
And
Brutes.
a damn good show, Dax, because look who's up next, and he's smelling blood already.
That brood is no...
Green Boy number 1 on the table, KO, Underhanded Cheat. This is KO 3, the third KO to come out in Flesh and Blood. They're kind of doing KO dirty. The first version of KO, absolute peak design, right? Hilarious, awesome, little tiny berserker run, wild text, super fun to play. KO number 2, Heavy Hitters KO. Basically Reinar on training wheels. No offense, you guys, but he's just like mid. His entire lore is chasing down a monster, losing, and then getting captured. So they did him a little dirty there. And then the new lore for KO is he's a cheating little rascal. Okay. So yeah, very weird. He is canonically kind of a bad guy in the arena now. His art is absolutely nuts here. Absolutely nuts. It's Jasada once again coming through. His facial expression is sick. The art, the red, the lights, the anger, like the background of the Heavy Hitters arena. It looks dope. Mandible Claw looks better than ever. His one arm looks sick. Looks great, but definitely a little weird. His lore is going completely downhill, in my opinion. Whatever. You start the game with 1 weapon zone. Now, keep in mind, this is very different than original KO or second KO. Sorry, Heavy Hitters 1 KO. That one said you have 1 weapon zone, and that is a very supersede text value. That means that no matter what, you cannot change that outcome. You have 1 equipment zone. This one says you start the game with 1 equipment zone. So that one is a lot less strict, right? That would mean that this leads me to believe that you can maybe get another arm. Maybe there's like a legendary piece, equipment piece, something like poly, like an ally, not really an ally, but something along those lines where you can smash a weapon in your arm and maybe you'll be able to unlock 2, That's kind of what that leads me to believe. It seems like it was intentionally different, and we'll see if that turns out to be true or not. And then he has one of the most complicated and kind of convoluted hero abilities of any brute so far. Most of the time, brute hero abilities are pretty basic, right? KO last version was the most complex one we've ever seen. And really all it said is you have +1 power on your attacks and you make a might token, right? This one is pay 4, tap, target action card you control has 6 base power, right? So that means it gets buffed up. The card itself's base becomes 6. That is important. And then it seems like you can also buff it, right? So that is weird, right? Because most brute cards do that already, right? Most of them come in at 6, and the ones that don't really gain too much benefit. It's like +1, +2 maybe, right? So you're paying 4 resources to buff up a brute card. That doesn't really make sense. So what you're really doing is buffing up other weird attacks, right? And we know that there are reviled specific cards that are going to be coming out in this set. We'll go over those in a minute. So there's a lot of weird things you can do. Like you could do a trade-in blue from Arsenal. Comes in for 1. And it's threatening 6 or threatening 1, right? So, if your opponent is behind on life, that is a pretty actually hard situation to deal with. Do you take the 6? Or do you block with 2 cards and lose that trade anyways, right? So kind of a weird one. Seems like he's going to be a tricky brute. Seems like maybe he's not super reliant on brute cards in general. He's probably still going to be rocking swing big and stuff like that. But yeah, it seems a little weird. I have a feeling that he's going to be using go again attacks, tricky small ones, stuff like that. And then whenever the crowd boos you, create a vigor token. And that's important because vigor tokens make things less expensive, and his hero ability is extremely expensive, right? This is like Guardian level hero ability costs, and resource curves on brutes in general are typically super tight, right? Go again, 2 costs, go again, 2 costs, weapon, maybe, right? They're very expensive. So adding in just a random 4B in here is not going to be something that you can do on every turn. So yeah, get boos, create vigor tokens, make your hero ability cheaper, be tricky. Definitely going to be one of the he's a little hard to predict on what he's going to be. I think he's really going to require a lot of cards that are kind of specific to him. He might be a weird generic brute, he's running Scar for Scars, trade-ins, Vipox, stuff like that. Yeah, it'll be interesting. 4 intellect, 40 health, very important in this set to pay attention to that.
Stranger to a cheap shot. Lots of booze coming from the crowd here, Judd.
Rightly so. KO rips through his competition, and well, we all.
Oh, the art is so vibrant. And then, yeah, definitely getting a lot of like intermixed green culture going on here. That's like a goblin hanging out with humans here. So lore's all over the place.
Remember what happened last season?
Oh, he killed a
But he looks so good. Oh my God, he looks so good. That is a sick drawing. Okay, this is nuts.
lot of people.
He sure did.
Never really did find out who unlocked.
Got a gobbly, a little baby gob. He looks really cool. Very, very like pop punk.
That cage.
There's the bumbling big boy.
Oh my God, look at him.
It's tough, dude.
Just swatting these reviled
You guys.
punks like flies.
There's just no way, right? You guys, come on, dude. Look at the way these guys look. His name is Tough Nut.
It sure is easy loving that jolly green mug.
Oh, honestly,
right, so-
I'm not even sure why he's in there.
Tough Nut, the bumbling Hulkster. Interesting. He is a 3 intellect hero with 40 health. And that makes a lot of sense because his hero ability is absolutely cracked. It's very weird. This is a rock wielding badass. So instant tap, pitch the top card of your deck. It does not matter what it is. It's going to be pitched. It could be a red, it could be a blue, it could be a yellow, it could be a non-6, it could be anything. It could be a non-attack action, it could be a defense reaction, whatever. Then, if it has 6 or more power, the crowd will cheer you. Whenever the crowd cheers, you create a toughness token. Now, we don't know what a toughness token is. It sounds defensive. I'm going to imagine it's something along the lines of Briar's embodiment of earth tokens, +1 value, maybe stops 1 damage, something along those lines. And the art is done by Winzu Tan, the goat behind, our boys, Levia, Reinar, and now Tough Nut. So this hero is a rock wielding guy, right? So you're going to pitch the top card of your deck. It's basically you tap your hero, you gain pitch value as an intellect. So it makes up for your intellect pretty severely. We all know that rock says if you have no cards in hand, it costs 3 resources. You can attack with rock. Rock does 7 damage, and cannot be prevented. And your hand must stay empty. So this rotation of damage, it kind of seems like that he's going to be using his toughness tokens, blocking a little bit, kind of getting some intrinsic value there. Then he'll be doing something like pitching a blue, I have a Phidia, something crazy like that, pulping or wild ride into rock, So that's a pretty sick 3-card hand there, right? If you block for 4, let's just pretend you pitch your blue, you do a wild ride, and then rock, right? That's a 11 plus 4, not bad. 15 value. Not the worst, not the best, not the greatest, but he can do some nut stuff. You can also do like an all blue build, right? And just block 3, block 3, block 3, swing rock for 6. He's the guardian. The guardians wish they could be. You can run all your D reacts. You can do stuff like reveal the top card of your deck cards, so you can make sure that the top card of your deck is a 6. It's not a D react, and then you'll always, or a blue, not a D react, and then it'll pretty much always go. I don't know. He seems very strong intrinsically. He just seems like he would work functionally with very little support, right? He just does 7 damage. He can block really well. Toughness tokens, if it's anything defensive, I've always wanted a defensive brute. So I am absolutely heartbroken about my inability to play this at competitive events.
Judd?
And I don't think he.
And also, look at him, dude. Like all of you gym bros at home, you've got massive arms, a massive chest, and tiny little baby bitch legs. So yeah, make sure that you do your leg day. Do some squats, okay? This guy has never done a squat in his entire life, and his head is the size of a marble. And I love him. I love him so much.
Knows either. Not a thought behind those eyes.
Wait. What's this? No way!
And boom, some more lore. We now know that brutes reproduce normally. All right, that's a tiny little baby nugget brute. We've never seen one of those. We've never seen a baby brute before. They don't get spawned out of holes in the floor like they do in the Lord of the Rings. They're not like a millennia old and they just existed since the beginning of time. They're little guys and they have little babies, just like this little baby right here and this little baby right here, right? We got green little baby brutes running around. That likely means there are female brutes, which we've also never seen in Flesh and Blood cards. Yeah. So we're learning a lot about brutes. And it seems like they are just able to talk and stuff. And they hang out. I mean, like these guys don't look scared at all. They all love him. He's got little toys and stuff. I don't know what's going on in Brute Lores, guys. Seems like Rhinar and KO are just like the freaks. They're like the Savage Lands freaks. They still live in the jungle. Maybe these guys got domesticated. Like
That's what I call a people's champion.
But our show goes on because the headliner's here with
Ellen
some
Boone.
headbang, and I'm not talking dancing.
You know her, you love her, but not as much as me, the one, the only,
Pleiades superstar. So we got ourselves here the rock star of the deathmatch arena. She has a wonderful metal guitar axe that she kills peoples with. And you know, the reason she exists is because it's a set filled with small green with brutes and somebody you're about to see. So they needed somebody to sell some cards. And so they made one good looking character. Makes sense to me. 4 intellect, 40 health. So absolutely standard. Guardian, right? So that's 2 back-to-back sets of support for Guardian, Mastery Pack, and of course this set itself. Guardians are eating delicious. They're eating good right now. Maybe they're going to be good. Maybe this will be enough to crawl them out of the gigantic hole that they live in because Gravy Bones exists and Prism, but maybe not. We'll see. News gone, so you guys can actually use your blues now. That's awesome, right? I also missed all my blues. So instant tap, remove a suspense counter from an aura you control. We don't know what that means. You may put a suspense counter on an aura of suspense you control. So definitely an aura based Guardian. So I'm thinking very tall, monstrous attacks like those big old Titan cards, you know, like come in for like 25 or 17 or whatever. And then whenever the crowd cheers you, create a confidence token. So unfortunately, we don't gain too much from understanding what her hero text does because all of those tokens are currently unavailable. We don't know what they do. We don't know what a suspense aura is, what a confidence token is. But my intrinsic guess is she's an aura-based Guardian. She's going to send some absolutely destructively large attacks. And then she does seem tricksy, right? Moving tokens around your board state, pulling things back. We'll see some cards that interact with this later. Looks pretty great.
No one gets the
great.
crowd jumping like our revered superstar
Not a brute, so not that important.
here.
The suspense is killing me, Judd.
And you're not the only one.
And then she's got an armory deck. Her art looks pretty sick here, Lightning Bolt Dragon. So she's likely going to she's probably going to be good because armory deck heroes tend to be pretty good.
Down goes the mighty Great Drake.
You think she'd sign my mic?
Not a chance. Folks, thank y'all for joining us as we sign off.
Enjoying the show? Thought so. Let's fix that then, shall we? There's only one champion of this ring, long may he reign, and the name's Goldmane. You see, the bookie and I have reached an accord. Show me someone.
All right, so we've got a very clear Game of Thrones reference going on here. Lyath Goldmane. So Victor Goldmane's brother, I'm assuming here, Vile Savant. Savant being a big Tyrion, Tywin, Lannister. Definitely a reference to Game of Thrones. This is our first ever 5 intellect hero. Kind of nuts, 40 health. So everybody has 40 health in this set. And we have got a lot of intellect playing going on. The base and damage and defense of your cards you control are halved, rounding up. So your 3 blocks become 2 blocks, your 10 blocks or your 10 attacks become 5, so on. Instant 2 cost tap. The crowd boos you. Defending action cards you control this turn get +1. And those of you who are good at Flesh and Blood know that anytime you spend a card on anything, it needs to have a minimum of 3 value. You're really looking for 4. 4 value per card is how you really start pushing numbers and doing well in this game. 3 value means you're doing fine. Anything below 3 value is bad. So realistically, the way you're going to be doing that is because anytime you get booed, you create a might token. You're going to be spending this resource, this card, getting 2 block extra. That's 2 value for your card spent. And then gaining 1 value of might. That is how you become cost neutral. And then if you get 4, you win. And then you'll have 1 resource floating, which likely could be spent on something like Oasis Respite, right? Or maybe some of those other defensive cards that have a cost associated to them. therefore giving you an advantage on the defensive side, making up for the fact that you really have absolutely kind of gimped attack values and defense values most of the game. So you're really needing that one extra card to make up for that, right? The weapon on this hero is going to be very important. Which weapon you use is probably going to be very, very important.
One who won't kneel to me, and I'll show you a corpse.
You heard the dwarf.
It's time
For
Super Slam. All right, so we've got definitely that, like, you know, good versus bad kind of vibe going on. We got our happy, cheery, fun heroes. Then we got our boo, sad, angry heroes on the left. We got world premiere in Montreal, which is going to be nuts. September 12th through the 14th, 2025. Pre-releases 1600 worldwide, September 19th. And then we got release day, September 26th. So yeah, Montreal is going to be a sick one. A sick one. Look at the art on these cards. Everything's so vibrant. The packs are crazy. Yeah. Yeah, this is looking like a good one. You got a mask? I didn't see that. I hope that's a legendary or something. That'd be cool.
Jeez, talk about cutting a fight short, am I right?
Let's call it an encore then.
No,
shall we?
Yep, the guy's bad. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right, let's go check it out. All righty, we got a lot of news to check out, a lot of stuff to read. We already watched the video. Can you hear it? The crowd cheering your name or erupting into boos. Return to the deathmatch arena for a nail-biting, gut-punching, death-defying show, the Super Slam. All right, so it's all hyped up. We already kind of touched on the release dates. One of the most interesting things here, I mean, obviously, Garden versus Brute set. No weapons in this set. No weapons. I don't know if that means that there are none, period, because there might be some in like the Carnival slot or in the Legendary slot or something along those lines. But this means that the draft and the limited experience is weaponless. So a new thing going on here. Very interesting. So pure cards. We've never seen that really before. It's definitely going to open up some interesting avenues for gameplay. Yep, and our first ever Hero 5 Intellect, we covered that. And then we've got gaming tables, cold foils, best there is, blah, blah, blah. We're going to get in the ring. Boom, boom, boom. Covered the key dates already. Super important. Armory deck comes out on the release day. A little bit early. Armory deck actually comes out September 19th. That is the one thing I don't think we've seen so far. All right, here we go. Here we go. The crowd cheers. So our heroes here. Underdog, superstar, you know, he's just a little guy, just a goofy little boy, you know. He's just so sweet, man. I just want to give him a hug. Yeah, so we already covered these abilities, but here, crowd goes wild. This is a majestic 6 power, 3 blocking, 3 costing, yellow. Typical brute card, but this is not a brute card. So this is available to both of them. Very interesting. If you've been cheered this turn, this costs 3 less to play. So this is a 0 for 6 yellow, block 3. That Rhinar can't have. Sucks. But yeah, no, very good. I mean, this is a typical brute card. It just has the upside of being able to be free. So if you can figure out how to get cheered, right? If you can 1-2 punch, you can get cheered. You can make a toughness token. You can send in 6 damage for free. That's a very good turn, right? And then we got Comeback Kid. Red, 3 cost, 7 power, 3 block, revered action. When this attacks a hero, if you have less health than them, the crowd will cheer you. And if you've been cheered this turn, this gets +1. So obviously both of these heroes want to be cheered. This person gets a confidence token and can do fancy stuff. This person gets a toughness token, can likely defend. And this is a swing big value. 2 card 8 plus a token. 2 card 8 plus a token is pretty freaking cracked. Granted, neither of these can be buffed by Blood Rush, so our Brute is not really eating super good on Blood Rush turns with either of these. But this is a very, very, very good card. Both of these are very good cards. So the play style is going to be, they seem to be pushing Brutes a little bit away from Blood Rush Bellows, which is beautiful because I've played enough Blood Rush Bellows across 3 Brutes that, give me something new. And then the crowd boos. Whether it's a dirty cheater or a bully, they're bad, cheating, bad. They do underhanded things to win, which I kind of like. And there's intimidating here, and we'll talk about that in a second. So we already seen their hero abilities. Man, the art looks they look dark. All right, bully tactic. 0 cost red, block 3, 3 damage. When this attacks a hero, you may pay up to 1, 2, 3 resources, intimidate them that many times. For some reason, I have an impossible time reading what the heck this actually means. Is it you pay 3 and you intimidate 3 times? Because if that's true, this is stupid. This is a very stupid, very good card. It only does 3 damage though. But if you could figure out Go again, right? Like, I mean, scab skins. But 3 intimidates on a 0 cost is like Reinhar's wet dream. I don't know. And also KO can make this 6, right? So this is a kill card with KO. If you can figure out how to play it, right? Intimidate, come in. This does 3 damage over the top if they don't have equipment left, obviously. And then in this guy, right? This is our first ever Guardian with the keyword intimidate. That kind of rubs me the wrong way, but he's a weirdo, so I'll take it. It's fine. Whatever. You know? This should have been Reinhardt's card. And it's him on the art too, which is nuts. So he's the intimidate 9. So cool. This guy is kind of like, maybe these bad guys are intimidate focused, which is kind of nuts. And then mocking blow, kind of similar. 0 cost red, 3 block, 1 damage. When this attacks a hero, if you have more health than them, the crowd boos you. If you've been booed this turn, this gets +4. So this is something about pushing your advantage. These bad guys are like kind of pushing your advantage. If you have more health than them, the crowd boos. They both trigger on boos. He gets a vigor token and he gets a might token. So this immediately will come in for 0 cost, 5 damage, and it triggers a token generation. Again, these cards are good, right? They're very good. That's pretty weird to see such intrinsically powerful single cards, which leads me to believe this set might be a little bit more simplistic compared to the last one, because like you're looking for like these, just like this card does good damage, do it, and then block with the rest of your stuff, right? We're not looking for these like 5 card setup combo pieces. It's just like, this card is good, play it, you know? Interesting. And then we got something very interesting. A little bit. This is a weird one. We got 40 different super rares. So super rares are coming back only for this set, apparently. 40 different super rares are going to come in, and they're all kind of like specialties, right? 40 different super rare signature moves to bring into the rim. Super slam, explosive gameplay, right? And this is also kind of focused on draft. All right, let's look at this. The Spain Charm. So choose any number, destroy a might token or a vigor token. The crowd cheers you. We know how important that is. Return an aura permanent you control to the owner's hand. Okay. Oh, Toasty was getting beat up by Rock. He's so dangerous. I'm so sorry. All right. So the Spain Charm. Choose any number, destroy might or vigor token. The crowd cheers you. We know that's important. Return an aura permanent you control to its owner's hand. Now, interestingly, this does not say anywhere on it is her card, right? But it clearly interacts with her better than the other ones. So I wonder if this is going to be like a little puzzle you have to solve during like the draft and the limited experience, also kind of during the CC experience, where these cards are going to be your weird combo pieces. Like this is the treasure island of this set, right? Like you got to find these little wiggles. You also notice that each one does something with a token, and the tokens are something that not all heroes passively generate. So these are maybe also your sideboard cards, right? Right. Okay. Destroy confidence, might token. The crowd cheers you. Pitch the top card of your deck if it has 6 or more power, create a vigor token. So that's very good, actually. That's very good for almost anybody. But it's very good for brutes. I guess guardians too. See, they kind of all fit. Steel. Now that's nice. Steel, a toughness or a vigor token seems better. The crowd boos you. Target hero loses and can't gain abilities unless they discard a card. Steal, a confidence or toughness token. The crowd boos you. If you control an attack with 6 or more power, deal 2 damage to them unless they discard a card. All right, so they all kind of like interact slightly better with the hero that's painted on them, but they're usable everywhere. And then on top of that, they all are kind of going in that little circle, right? So confidence or toughness is only going to be good into some people. Toughness, vigor, right? Confidence, might, whatever. You get it. That's the puzzle to solve. So yeah, it's going to be at the Montreal Convention Center, the world premiere. We're going to rip open some events, some packs. It's going to be sick. You get 1 of 4 cold full promo cards. It's going to be awesome. We see those in a second. And then, yeah, here you go. The promos. I need that playmat real bad. And then you get full art cold foils. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Premium package comes with the best playmat ever made. I need that one also. Yeah, okay. So some more promos. Then you get your classic rainbow foils here. Then you get your revealed, your revered or reviled, right? One promo at random. And then your pre-release. This is an interesting brand new thing. Pre-release events will be running at more than 1,600 stores from Friday, September 19th through this weekend, pretty much, or through the week of the 28th. Entering the ring for the first time, weighing 11 ounces. I wonder why they called that out. We are thrilled to announce a new pre-release kit box. Play an in-store pre-release event or purchase the kit and play with your friends and family at the comfort of your own home. This is incredible. I love this. If you're like out of town or whatever, you could probably pre-order some of these, pick them up, and then you don't feel like you missed everything, right? I love that. Play with your girlfriend, play with your wife, play with your boyfriend, play with your brother, play with your dogs, play with whoever, right? Watch out for more details coming soon. So we get more information soon. And then boom, the expansion slot is the biggest expansion slot of all time. Okay, 31 whopping cards in here, and they're bringing back some all-time favorites with several key reprints, which means the Super Slime expansion slot is there for everybody, and it replaces a basic rarity pack and 1 in 6 boosters. Now, they've done a really good job recently of bringing down the prices of some of those more obscene cards. Look at Codex of Frailty. That card is at the all-time most affordable it's ever been, thanks to the legendary reprint. So it looks like they're going to be targeting some more collector pieces that are really pricing out people in this game. I'm 1,000% about that. I don't really care if my CNC loses $20 on its value. I definitely do care when my friends won't play the game because the CNC costs $100. All right. It goes over your standard rules. You can't, draft or play limited with some of those Marvel cards and cold foils and all that kind of fun stuff. Now, here's where it gets a little shake-uppy. The set code is Sup. One Fabled. I hope it's a brute one. It better be, right? It better be. And then 5 Legendary. That's a pretty low number. 42 Majestics and 40 Super Rares. Like, that's a lot of the set, right? Now, the Super Rares are weird, so I don't really know if they deserve the title of their Super Rare, right? Maybe some of them do, maybe some of them don't. But that is a lot of the setup here in this category, right? And then 40 Rares, 134 Commons, 14 Basics, and 14 Marvels. 2, 4, 6, 8. 14? There's no weapons. So I don't know what this means exactly, but that seems like a high number when there's no weapons. Okay, we'll figure that out. Maybe there's another here and there. Ryan, our star of the show. We already, okay, and then 119 MSRP. Boom. Standard Japanese boxes following kind of the same slim pattern. And then we got our armory deck. All right, and then I also heard that somewhere on the internet, the young hero art has been revealed. So we're going to dive into that real quick. All right, we found him. Yeah, it's on the marketing assets. So it is officially published. I was a little nervous, but we found it. My God, look at him, dude. Look at him. He never did leg day, dude. Never did it. All right, I love this. Windsor 10. Beautiful. Young KO. Interesting. How are they doing a young KO? I guess he's not really younger here, huh? Yeah, looks great. Looks like KO. Okay. Love this art, man. Okay, this one. Wow, we're cooking with this one. That's nuts. That is freaking nut. The art on this one's crazy. I love it. Oh my gosh. And then boom, rock band. Boom, boom, boom. Wow, playing the mega symbol. What a guy. All right, and well, that's it, right? I mean, incredible. Beautiful. There's no way we have anything else to talk about at all, right? There's no way. No way. Oh, wait, we do. Yeah. So with the acquisition of Savage Feats, something that I've been putting on the wayside for quite a long amount of time, something I've been talking about, something I've been wanting to do is coming to fruition. And I did manage to get savagelands.com. You will be seeing some updates coming out over the next couple months as I work towards finalizing this project and launching it out. I have had the idea for a long time. I think it was since I was in London. Or actually, it was before that. I was building something for Savage Feats, and I was like, man, this is something that everybody needs. And then we have some tools that really are just honestly, we have a tool that everybody, I think we need to make better. And it was something that I had personally, just kind of added on. So it'll be coming soon. Logos are going to be coming soon. I'll be updating it. savagelands.com. I hope you guys enjoy what I bring next to the table. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you around.